Welcome back to the Making the Madness YouTube channel. Sean, back again for another video. This one is to discuss Grand Canyon. If you know me, you know I love mid-major hoops. That's my main thing. I pay attention to all college basketball, but something about mid-major basketball is just a little bit special to me, and I just love it. And Grand Canyon's been one of the premier mid-major programs in college basketball over the past couple of years, and Bryce Drew's taken them to new heights. Made the tournament for the first time in program history 2 years ago. They were very solid again last year, but they made two splash additions in one day. Rayshon Harrison, who averaged 17 per game in each of his 2 seasons with Presbyterian, will come over to help Jovan Blackshear in the backcourt there for the Grand Canyon and Lopes. I think he's going to be a very productive player. He didn't shoot the ball well last year, only 24% from outside, but he's very good at getting the foul line. He's good at drawing contact. I think he's, in reality, closer to like a 34-35% guy from outside like he was as a freshman. He won't have to shoot the ball as much for Grand Canyon, though, because you already have an established point guard there with Jovan Blackshear, who was the team's leading scorer. He was the team's best player. He improved his offensive game so much last year. He's really there to replace Holland Woods, I would say, who was also a really good player. But now you have two guys that can run the show. You have two guys that can score the basketball at a high level. That gives you the best backcourt in the WAC in my mind. Even though California Baptist might have something to say for that, I would say that Grand Canyon's first two there are very good, and I would give them the edge. But getting Rayshon Harrison is a big-time get because I think he could have gone even higher than the WAC level. He's just a really talented scorer, knows how to put the ball in the basket. When you look at his freshman numbers, 17 a game, I think only Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham scored more points than him as freshmen. He might have scored more than Mobley. I know Cunningham scored more than 17, but he was one of the 5 freshman leading scorers in the country a couple of years ago. So that's the kind of talent you're getting with Rayshon Harrison, a 6'4" combo guard. Then you have Noah Baumann, who started his career at San Jose State. Then he went to USC, then he went to Georgia, and now he's finishing his career back home in Phoenix for Grand Canyon. This is an elite shooter. You're getting an elite knockdown shooter with Noah Baumann. Shot 45% in his second year at San Jose State. Shot 40% from deep at Georgia last year, averaged 8 per game in the SEC, and he's going to be probably the third option on offense here. You're going to look at Blackshear, you're going to look at Rayshon Harrison to score the basketball first, and then you're going to be like, okay, well, we have this 6'6" wing who can shoot the ball at a 40% clip. That's always solid to have, and I think it'll put Grand Canyon potentially over some other teams there in the WAC. Obviously, New Mexico State's going to take a step back. They lost Teddy Buckets. They lost Jabari Rice. They lost their head coach. But I think Greg Heyer will do a very solid job there, and I think they'll be able to get more talent in. This is their final season in the WAC, though, but Grand Canyon looks like the team to beat in the WAC at the moment with all the losses that some other teams had. But the big question I have for Grand Canyon, here it is. You had Gabe McLaughlin, who had a very solid season at the 4. He was a very solid stretch 4. He essentially replaced Alessandro Laver, who was more of a 6'10", 6'11" guy that could stretch the floor. But Ashbourne Midgard was awesome coming in from Wichita State a few years ago. He was great. He was one of the best players in the WAC. He's one of the more productive bigs in the country. They did not get that kind of production from the 5 spot last year. Ivan Udraogo, who transferred in from Nebraska, he was a solid rebounder, 7 rebounds per game, but only 3.9 points per game. They're going to need a little bit more scoring from Ivan Udraogo if they're going to be a team that I'm like, all right, this team is really dangerous. I think they're dangerous either way, but they need a little more consistent inside scoring. And I think if they can get that from Udraogo, who's probably the key there, then I think Grand Canyon could be one of the best mid-major teams in the country. But that's something I want to see. Maybe they add another big man, but Udraogo is talented. He's shown that he can score the basketball inside before, but he's just an elite rebounder and a very solid player inside. So he will play minutes regardless, and I think he needs to bring a little bit more on the offensive end for Grand Canyon to get to the next level. But this is a really solid team, and I like what they've added this offseason. The past few days have been big time for them. I think the Antelopes will be back in the mix in the WAC. They could be back in the tournament, maybe even win a game this time. They lost to Iowa, their first tournament in program history. They were a 14 seed. They were a very good team, but I think they could be even better this season. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and until next time, have a good one, everybody.